want to ask you, and I know you've done things you feel good about, things that you can pat yourself on the back for, but how many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Now, that proves a point that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg for you. And so I want you to think about three major goals as you look at your life right now and look forward into the future. This is a very challenging time. This country is right now going through a tremendous tragedy because of what has taken place in Connecticut. And as we begin to reflect on our lives in this milestone, as Dr. Clay said, that you are part of an exceptional group, that you are part of a group that now there's high expectations for you. So I want you to think about three major goals in three areas. Number one, I want you to think about some personal goal. My first personal goal was to buy my mother a home. I saw a sign once that said, God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. Mama worked on Miami Beach. She made beds, and she cleaned homes, and she cooked for families, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for. She also kept children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that Mama kept. And my mother could bake, too. Mama could bake a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes on. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. And I used to walk around these big, beautiful mansions, and I said, Mama, and she said, what is it, boy? I said, when I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home just like this. And I did that, bought her 4 different homes before she passed. How many have someone special you'd like to do something for? Raise your hands. Very good. I'm going to share with you how you can do that, Ona and I. Next thing is I want you to think about your financial goal. One of the goals that I wanted to do was become financially independent. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody wants to find out for themselves. A friend of mine, Rita Davenport, said, money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got eyelashes like Denzel Washington, honey. I used to be so broke I walked past the bank and tripped the alarm. Creditors call the house if our children would answer the phone and say, my daddy said he ain't home. And sometimes they would catch me. Hello, may I speak to Les Brown, please? I'm sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown. Don't you go there, big boy. I want you to think about a financial freedom number, that once you earn that amount of money, you'll be debt-free. Once you earn that amount of money, it will alleviate a great deal of stress. Once you earn that amount of money, you'll be able to spend more time with yourself and with your family members and be able to donate to causes that you feel strongly about. I want you to just pull that up mentally for yourself. And then whatever that number is, I want you to multiply it 100 times. Because I've found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. I realize that most people fail in life because they've done what I did the first part of my life, aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all. Now I want you to think about your social contribution. I believe that we live in the greatest country in the world that gives us an opportunity to make a difference in life. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we have made some major contribution to humankind. One of the goals I have is to reduce the number of women who die from breast cancer. Mama was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. One of the goals Ona and I have, teaching people how to tell their story, how to make an impact, how to give people hope, and create an experience that will challenge them to expand their skill set and to develop collaborative, achievement-driven relationships and build a financial empire. One of the goals I have, I encourage men to get their PSA test and their digital rectal examination. And I'll be glad when they can check our prostate by looking in our ears. Can you feel a brother up in here, up in here? You know? I'm turning red as I talk about it, but y'all can't see it. I was at this medical convention. The guy said, hey, Les, you know, I want to give you a free rectal. I said, no, buddy, you're too motivated. Homie, don't roll like that. But as you think about these three goals, your personal goal, your financial goals, your career goals, and your social contribution, let us say together with conviction, it's possible. It's possible. Say it again. It's possible. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at our goals and dreams, every day we have to begin to revamp our thinking. We have to begin to sell ourselves on the ability to do that, to say it's possible, and we have to convince ourselves of that on an ongoing basis. Because we live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential. Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. So every day you have to begin to work on yourself. I never forget a gentleman that I'll talk to today, Mr. Leroy Washington. I met him my junior year in high school. He's in his 90s and he's blind from glaucoma. I came in his classroom looking for MacArthur Stevens, and he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. And I said, sir, I can't do that. And he said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. And I said, I can't do that, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. Wesley's the smart twin. He is DT. He's the dumb twin. And the students laughed, and he came from behind his desk. He looked at me, and I said, I am, sir. And he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. That was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated, because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. And what I want to say to you as the graduates, there are people who are going to talk about you. There will be many distractions. There are people who will say you're not qualified. There are people who won't give you a shot. When you have goals and dreams, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will have tribulation. Didn't say you might. You will. It's going to be extremely challenging for you. But here's what I can say to you, that Dr. Clay was right. You are exceptional. You are different. You're uncommon. Some of you came through here and you didn't have support. All you had was a dream and determination that you were going to make it. Some of you couldn't afford to be here, but you knew you couldn't afford not to be here. You are uncommon. You have an uncommon desire to control your own future. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That's what it means to be a graduate of Westwood, an uncommon desire to control your destiny. Give yourselves a round of applause.
The next thing you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to know that it's necessary. Let me hear you say it's necessary. That's right. It is necessary. It's necessary that you stretch yourself, that you get outside of your comfort zone, which is what Dr. Brian Tracy calls the danger zone. And it's going to be challenging, as Dad says, and there are going to be times when you feel like throwing in the towel and wondering if it's all worth it, but you have what it takes. Let me hear you say, I have what it takes. I remember a time when we as a family were going through the eye of the storm. Anybody ever gone through some storms? Somebody going through something right now? Okay, and so in the midst of that, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And he had lost his dear friend since second grade. And after him passing Uncle Boo, he also lost my grandmother, Mamie Brown, who he's known by as Mamie Brown's baby boy. And in the midst of all of that, he also went through a divorce from someone he loved dearly, a public divorce that was very embarrassing. And on top of that, the nationally syndicated talk show that he had was canceled. And so we were in the eye of the storm. And he came and lived with me in Chicago, and I gave up my master bedroom and moved Dad in, and we were doing a lot of organic juices and praying and meditating and working to get through that. Sometimes when you're going through things, you have to remember that you will grow through that if you're conscious and you're aware and you're willing to do what it takes. And so after him being there for about 2.5 weeks, he said, Ona, I need to confide in you about something. I said, anything, Dad. You can talk to me about anything. What is it? He said, well, I've been eavesdropping on your phone calls. I said, is that right? He said, yes. I said, and why would you do that? He said, because I was bored and I didn't have nothing else to do. I said, okay. He said, but as a result of me being nosy, I made an amazing discovery, Ona. I said, what is that? He said, you, Ona, you're a powerful speaker and a powerful coach. You're just using the telephone as your microphone. I said, what you talking about, Willis? He said, no, this is you. This is who you are. 98.9% of the people that call here, you uplift them. You encourage them. You give them methods and techniques to take their lives to the next level. How many of you like helping people? Raise your hand. Yes. And so I said, no, Dad, that's not me. He said, I can't speak on stage. That's who you are. I'm shy. I'm introverted. I'm your number one salesperson in the back of the room. I'm the person that negotiated your first highest paid international contract. And I know how to do what I do in the background, not on the stage. That's not me. He said, no, you can do this. I said, no, I can't. He said, yes, you can. I said, no, you can't. No, I can't. How many of you have ever had someone see something in you that didn't fit into the box of how you saw yourself, so you rejected it? So as a result, I kept rejecting it, and we kept going back and forth, and finally he used wisdom. Let me hear you say wisdom. Wisdom. He said, you know what, maybe you're not a speaker, maybe you're not a coach, but you sure tell a great story. I said, now I do tell a pretty good story now. He said, well, would you be willing to come on stage and just tell a story? You ain't got to speak or nothing. I said, okay, I'll come on stage and tell a story, but I am not speaking. And so I share that story with you because I want to think about you. I want you to think about stretching yourself and challenging yourself and knowing that you've only begun to scrape the surface of your potential. You have more inside of you than you can ever begin to imagine. And this is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. And let me hear you say, I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, you're ready for that next chapter. But just know that it's necessary that you hold the vision and you press forward and you stretch yourself in the process.